In today's video, I want to talk about how to make a move in this crazy real estate market. Many Americans are finally ready to make that next move, and in fact, they've been ready for at least 1 or 2 years. Almost everyone who already owns a home has plenty of equity in that home, sometimes to the tune of 6 figures or more. The biggest thing holding us up right now is the fear of selling your home and not finding a new home, essentially being homeless. What I'm going to talk about are some tips and pointers how to avoid that entire situation and work through this issue. Inventory is what's really stifling this market right now. Many buyers are also sellers if they can simply find the new home they want to move to. So a lot of people think that they have to write what's called a contingent offer in order to make this next move. A contingent offer essentially means you own a home, and in order to make a move, you must first sell the home that you already have. In years past, this was not an issue for realtors. We would simply build in a couple extra weeks for someone to list and sell their current home before closing on the new home. So in large part, that's what's causing a bottleneck in the inventory right now, is these would-be sellers are holding off until they find the new home, and that in large part is what's causing this lack of inventory on the other side. So there's a lot of misinformation floating out there about real estate. So someone hears from a friend of a friend that, hey, they're not accepting contingent offers out there right now. So if you own a home and you need to buy a new home, I wouldn't even bother because they're not going to accept it. At that point, that's where you need to really consult a professional. You should consult a lender and a realtor that you trust and get some answers. Because a lot of people will be shocked to find out that in fact, they can purchase a new home without selling their current home. This means you would be non-contingent. Now in years past, there would be a real fear that if you bought this new house without selling your current house, that you might carry a double mortgage. And a lot of people, those numbers are just a little bit too much to stomach. You know, they can't pay for 2 mortgages at one time. In today's market, that's just not a logical fear. For the sake of giving you an example, let's just say you bought a new house and closed on it on April 10th. You don't pay a mortgage for that month of April. Your first mortgage payment isn't until May 1st. But here's the real kicker. Mortgages are paid in arrears, so that May 1st payment isn't even due until June 1st. So if you time this right, work with a professional, you should never have an issue of carrying a double mortgage. Because in today's market, it's so hot out there as a seller that if you list at the proper price your realtor tells you to, you will not only sell your home, but you'll get multiple offers and you'll be able to close on that property well before you ever carry a double mortgage. So you've talked to your lender, and unfortunately, you just can't write an offer non-contingent. The margins are too tight. You don't have to give up hope. You can still list your home and go out and shop for new homes. So what you do, you list your home and you start accepting offers, looking at offers, I should say. And you may not accept the biggest and best offer, but what you're looking for is an offer that's willing to give you a delay on your closing. And you can try to negotiate, say, 2 to 3 months delaying that closing. So this now means you can go out and write offers that are only contingent on the sale of your home, which to a seller shouldn't be an issue. So now you're out there hunting for houses in this 2 to 3 months before your current home sells. And let's say, unfortunately, you still haven't found a home. So you go ahead and close on your current home. From there, you can negotiate with that potential buyer an additional 2 months or 60 days after closing that you can stay in your current home. So really, if you time this right, you're looking at about 5 months of an opportunity to hunt and find a home without ever being homeless. If your realtor is good at what they do, that just shouldn't be an issue. 5 months should be plenty enough time for you to go out and find a new home. Now let's just say all of that is too much for you to stomach, and the fear of being homeless is just too much for you to deal with. So there is one other option. It's not the most ideal, but what you can do is you can list your current home and accept an offer, but you counter back that you will not sell this home until you've found suitable housing. So this essentially wipes out any fear of you ever being homeless. The biggest issue is finding a buyer that's willing to accept those terms, because this might mean it drags on for months and months and months before you actually find a home that you deem suitable. So there's options. Don't just give up because you think it doesn't work. Now, another huge hurdle that's holding up this inventory crisis right now is the fact that a lot of homeowners really have no idea exactly how much equity they have in their home. Now, we all can turn on the news and we know the real estate market across the nation is booming. But what does that mean for you right here in West Michigan? You should contact a realtor and have them tell you exactly how much equity you have in your home. A lot of my clients are shocked when they find out what that number is. Now, they knew they had equity, they just didn't know it was that much. So now, for the sake of an example, you find out from your realtor how much equity you actually have in your home. Now you take that equity and you put it down on the purchase of a new home. This is where you need to contact your lender and say, okay, if I take all of this equity that my realtor is telling me I have in my current home and I put it down on the purchase of a new home, what are my monthly payments going to look like? Because in the end, that's what it should boil down to. Not this big number. Quit focusing on that. What you should focus on is your monthly payment and how much you can actually afford. So many of my clients are shocked when they find out, oh my gosh, I take all this equity, I put it down on the purchase of a new home, and my monthly payment's really only gone up a little bit. So that you can actually make a huge leap in purchasing because of the amount of equity that's available to people right now. So we have no idea how long this market's going to stay like this. Take advantage of your equity and put it to work for you. I believe the biggest thing holding back this market right now is a lack of knowledge on the part of the consumer. Now, in large part, this can be blamed on us, the professionals. We need to stop sitting back and sulking and just saying this market's so competitive. We need to be getting out in front of our clients and letting them know that there's actual solutions to their problems. Because in the end, knowledge is power, and that's all I'm going to leave you with.